Hi, you have tuned in to the Raging Aggron Channel, and I'm your host, Djingis. And I'm here with a draft recap for our ABL VGC team. And oh boy, I'm looking forward to this. This will be so fun. I really like my team. I've just waited to put this out before TJ put out the draft recap, the draft summary on the ABL main channel. I will link that video in the description. I will not forget it. I usually do forget to link things in the description, but this time I will not. So each team drafts a team of 6 months that was available in, and all months that you drafted must be available in the Alola decks. No, not in Alola, but in well, just okay. Let's redo that. Rephrase it rather. All months had to be all months that was not mythical Pokemons or legendary Pokemons from outside of Gen 7 could be drafted. This means no Rayquazas, no Latioses, no Latis, no Regis, no Mews, no Mewtwo's, I mean nothing like that. So the best thing you can draft this in this draft format, in this like this, so is in my opinion the Tapu Lele, Mega Salamence, Mega Kangaskhan, and maybe Mega Metagross. Those are the top 4 threats in this draft format. And I will go through here. So it was a snake-like draft format, and I got place number 2. My original draft plan was not this team that you will see here. I got 2 months on this team that I wanted from the get-go, and that was Smeargle and... Oh, let's see if I say the right one now. Yeah, it is. It was the Smeargle and it was the Magnezone. Those were the only 2 ones that I knew that I wanted. I had to redo my whole draft plan when I got to place at number 2, because then I knew that a lot of things that I wanted early on I would not be able to get because they would be drafted before me. Good thing is that we are only 8 teams in the league, which means that I have a lot of opportunities to draft the ones I really want to draft. And first up, I want a mon that is very easy to build around. And the easiest one to build around, in my opinion, is Mega Salamence, of the top 4 threats that I just mentioned, of Tapu Lele, Mega Metagross, Mega Salamence, and Mega Kangaskhan. Mega Salamence is the absolute easiest one to draft around and to build around, because it's dragon flying, so the only thing that you really need to patch up for that is you need an ice resistance, which is very easy to get. You need a fairy resistance, which is also very easy to get, and not a lot of teams will have a Pheromon as well. Which means that Raging Aggron is a very good pick in that sense. It has also a very good stats distribution that you can see here. It's very bulky, can live most hits. It has also a very good moveset. And here's what I really found interesting with this Pokemon. I can go offensive with Dragon Dance. I can go offensive with Tonklo. I can go offensive with a lot of things. I can also go defensive with Roost, Tailwind, Tox, and things like that. I can also go support, complete support, with Tailwind. Anyway, let's just see. Tailwind, Roar. Then just go with Dragon Tails and something else that I can go for. Like, everything is good in VGC more or less. The bad thing here is it's not very one-dimensional, but it's very easy to prep for it, because you need a Scarfer that hits higher than max speed here, which will be 189, which is very easy to get in my opinion when it comes to Scarfer, when it is around that level 50. I think all Scarfers over 80 can outspeed me, no problem. I think some beneath 80 can outspeed me as well, no problem, with Scarfs. Which means that I have to be very careful about that. And also that they can double target this Pokemon. So I can do a lot. The good thing with this thing though is that I have both Moxie and Intimidate before Mega Evolve. And of course Intimidate Shuffling is so good in VGC. It's one of the best abilities to have. And I was really hoping that I, in my next pick, could draft Arcanine or in my next 2 picks could draft Arcanine. But it went, so I lost Snarler and Intimidator in Arcanine, a fire type. I mean, Arcanine is maybe the best VGC Pokemon in the previous meta. It's so good. It's very hard to prep for, very hard to take down, great move pool and so forth, so it will be really hard to face that. I would really love to have it on the team. But I've got Saphira with Mega Salamander instead. Next up we have the mon that I really wanted to get because it pairs up so extremely well with Mega Salamence, and that is Professor X, our Metagross. Light Metal could be very good for those low kicks, low sweeps it's called, and so forth. I can run almost any item I want in this thing, Assault Vest, Choice Band, Choice Scarf. I can even run Choice Specs with that base 95 special attack. I can run Focus Sash, I can run Leftovers, Life Orb, Mental Herb, Power Herb, Rocky Helmet, Citrus Aguav. I can run so much with this thing. And I can also run this thing with a lot of different sets, because I can go fast with Agility. I can go bulky with Explosion. I can go slow with Gyro Ball. I can go set up with Home Close. I can go special. I can go physical. I can set up screens. I can do a lot of things. And this is maybe one of the best mons to check Fairy types with in the whole meta. As of right now, if you don't have Mega Metagross, of course, because you resist Psychic that most Fire types get, and you resist Moonblast as almost every Fairy type gets. And the only thing that you really need to patch up with Metagross is you need to get Fire, you resist it, and you need to get an Earthquake resistance. And I have that in Mega Salamence. I also have in Metagross a Rock resistance. So that's very good. A great move pool, can do a lot of things, give me priority as well. I can break screens. Very hard to prep for it, because I can literally bring whatever I want to. I can also do a very fun thing with Gravity, which is pretty useful in VGC. So yeah, this is not the mon to sleep on. This is not the mon to sleep on. Self-Destruct and Explosion are also very good. Very good moves on Metagross in VGC, because you just go. The only thing you do is that you go protect on one mon and then explode with the other one, and the opponent can't really do anything, and it will do so much damage. So yeah, that's Metagross. Next up I had a wheel pick, of course, so Nathan was before me, and a lot of the things that I really wanted. Is more or less I wanted a knife flying type, because they are very hard to get in this format, and to get the levitators and so forth. It's very hard to get in a draft league format, especially if you want to especially if you want them to be good and bulky, which means that I had to be very creative when I decided what I wanted next. And I looked at my team. Okay, I want a mon that can take some support pressure off of my Mega Salamence, so I can run a bit more offensive Mega Salamence, and I will take rid of Foul Play, because Foul Play is not what I wanted here. And I decided, okay, let's do this then. Mandibuzz is a very bulky Pokemon. I can also abuse the opposing team's setup. I will also get Snarl, which I need. I will also get another Tailwind setter, which means that I can, and a good Air Slash user as well in Tailwind. So I can go Tailwind, Air Slash, Toxic, Protect, and just wear down the opponent pretty easy. If I go, I'm just going to show you the scat because it's pretty unbelievable. This is a timid circuitry with a C move, which means that it doesn't hit as hard, of course. But if that is the set, and I bring this Mandibuzz set, as you can see, I can survive a Thunder from this thing. Now, if we take away the Psychium C and just put Life Orb instead, I cannot survive a Thunder, but I can survive a Thunderbolt. I have a chance to survive a Thunderbolt, rather. This also means that I can get rid of his item, and he can't really do anything. So Mandibuzz can actually take on Circuitry. The only problem is that I don't really get a good move to take down Circuitry with. So that doesn't really matter, but I can actually take a hit from offensive Circuitry, which is extremely good. So yeah, something else that you might sleep on is Embargo. Embargo is a very interesting move because it completely destroys. I think it's just the opponent's team so they can't use items. That is a very good move to have in doubles and in league overall, because you can really put a dent in the opposing team because you can't use their items for 5 turns. And I also get Attract, which could be pretty useful because Menbus has to be female, which means that I can always attract as soon as I say, okay, they are male. I just go Attract on them, and they will have very hard time to do anything versus me. I can go Block to hinder them from go out. I can trap them with Embargo and Attract. You can't really do anything. Fake Tails is a good move to lower the special defense of Mons. The more you look down here, you can see a lot of things that are very good. Iron Defense is very good. Mean Look. Mirror Move can also be pretty useful. Lair is another pretty useful one. I can go with Pluck or Incinerate to take damage. Payback is a very good move on this thing. Punishment is also a pretty good one. But I will not use that because I know it's very hard to get defense drops and so forth. And I can also get some speed control with Scary Face if I don't want to go with what it's called. With the Tailwind, and I get Starless, as I said. I can do a lot of things with this thing, which is very good. I can also go Torment if I think something is choiced, of course. So I can do a lot of things, and so far most of my team has Rain Dance and or Sunny Day. Out of these 3 things. So next thing I wanted was a Pokemon that I have 2 very good physical attack hitters. I have 3 very good bulky Pokemons. I needed something to hit very hard with that was also pretty fast, that I don't need to run Scarf, or I don't need a Trick Room for it to work. Or well, not Trick Room, Tailwind. And I also wanted a Fairy type and I wanted a Rock type. Because most switches to Rock types are physical monsters, not special monsters. So I decided to grab up Nihilego in the forefront, which for me is a steal. Flasher, the Nihilego, is part of this team, and as I see, it's a very good HP stat, a very good special attack stat and defensive stat, special defense stat, and also very good speed. The Beast Boost will also boost special attack, special defense, or speed pretty easy on this thing. Assault Vest is a very good item on this thing, so is Scarf and Specs. Focus Sash is also pretty useful on this thing, and I can also go with the leftovers if I really want to run it bulky. And of course I can do anything in between. I will get Stab, Poison, Fall Fairy types, so I have a very good thing. I have 2 very monsters that are weak to Fairy, but I have 2 monsters that resist Fairy and can destroy Fairies back pretty easy. I will also get, as you can see here, Acid Spray is a very good move in this format because it deals some damage and it also lowers the target special defense by 2 stages. Grass Knot is another good move. I can go for the Head Smash if I really wanted to. I get another Screen User, get Psychic, get Power Gem. I can go Rest, Sleep Talk as well on this thing. It's pretty common if you have a very good way to get rid of the physical weakness on this thing. I get Thunder, Electric, what's it called? Electric Versatility. I can get Setup Sub. I don't get Calm Mind, I think. No, I don't get Calm Mind, which is a bit of a bummer, but I get the Clear Smog to get rid of a limited stat things, so yeah. I can do a lot of things here. It's a mon that overall is pretty hard to deal with for the opponent, unless they have an EQ. If they have EQ, it's pretty easy to deal with because it's 4 times weak to it, and no matter the spread damage, it will still hurt a lot. So yeah, this was a very interesting mon in my opinion to bring up. I feel like it carries some holes that I didn't have. Well, it carries some holes that I had, but also take up some new holes in my opinion. As you can see, I now have a very good core here with, I have 2 immunities to Earthquake, but both of those are weak to Fairy, but I have 2 mons that can switch in that are weak to Earthquakes, but take care of Fairy moves no problem. And I can also deal damage back. I also have a Psychic Resistance, and I also have a very good I get a plethora of resistances with Mega Salamence. And after this turn I was like, okay, now it's let's see here, it's 12 picks before me, before I draft again, and I didn't really know what to get for, or what to go for, rather. But then I noticed that Smeargle was still there, and I have no clue why Smeargle still was here. So French Girl, Painter, the Smeargle will be here, and Moody is allowed, guys, so you can... I will have really fun with this. I will have so much fun with this. It's not a bulky mon at all, it's more of a versatility mon, because I can build this thing exactly how I want it. It doesn't have the best attacking stats or defensive stats, but it has an okay speed, okay HP to work. Focus Sash is very good, but what makes this thing good is the Moody. If I really wanted to, I can go Technician for very interesting attack boosts. But Moody is a very interesting move in this format, and I get Spore, so I can Spore my opponents to death. I also get all other moves that you can see here, which means that if I run this thing Scarfed, and I go for, let's say... where is it? I think I saw it here. It's called way down. Should be here somewhere, right? Aeroblast. Well, it's base 100 stab. Well, it's base 100 flying type. Well, I'm just gonna look here, because if I don't get mirror move in this thing. Shoot. Okay, I know that I have some things that get mirror moves on this team, but you can just think of the possibilities with running every single move I really need on this Pokemon, then have a attacking move that is not stab for Smeargle, but I bring this thing Scarfed and go for that move, and then I go mirror move with another Pokemon and get a stab move off that doesn't cost any PP for me, really, because mirror move has so much PP, so it doesn't really matter. That will also mean that I can deal a ton of damage to the opponent with moves that they don't think I can go for, which means that I have some mons that don't get the absolute best of the best stab moves that I can get, but I can just move them if I can with that Pokemon and just deal damage back. So I'm really happy with that. And next up I decided it's time to get the water type, it's time to get the fairy type. There are 2 mons that fit that criteria. It's Tapu Fini, which was gone since long, and it was Primarina. So I decided to go Primarina. Primarina is the only thing on my team that is weak to poison, if I remember my team correctly. Which means that the rest of my team can take care of poison. I also have very good mons to switch in on electric type moves. This thing can hit like a truck for my team. Sad thing is that Liquid Voice is not allowed, but I can still run the Torrent, and I have pretty good stats here as well. I can be pretty bulky, and I can run almost any item I want in this thing. Good move pool, priority, very good special move pool. Also give me screens. Perish Song can be very annoying for the opponent to deal with, especially if I trap them with block or something. So yeah, I can do a lot of things with this thing that I can do a lot. It has great versatility for me. I can build my team exactly how I want to build it. I don't think there's anything else I wanted to say about this thing. I don't think it was actually. But yeah, I have a very versatile team so far. I can do a lot of things with it that you might not see in regular stuff, and that's very good synergy. And so far, me and TD has the exactly same view on my team. So let's go here into our next mons. So as you can see here, I decided I need a grass type, and I need something that it's pretty bulky, that has some other functionalities than the rest of my team, and I decided to go for Ferrothorn because it was still there. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gone for it. But yeah, I decided to go for Ferrothorn here. Grass Steel, Iron Barbs, Rocky Helmet, extremely good in this format. Also, you can do a lot of things here with the items. I can go for a lot of different sets with this thing. I can go for the acid spray as well. As you can see, I have 3 or 4 mons. I think I have 3 mons so far that can learn acid spray, which is very, very good. I have 2 explosion mons. I have a mon to put out spores, and I have a mon to leech seed. I can gyro ball as well with this thing. I can have a great versatility. I can also hazard stack if I really wanted to. I can also go offensive with sword stance. I can even go thunderbolt versus a team if I really wanted to. I can toxic. I mean, I can do so much with this thing. The only real problem here is that it's pretty weak to fire, and I don't have the best fire switchings as of yet. And another thing that this thing gets is Rare Seed. Rare Seed is a very useful, very useful move. The target's ability becomes insomnia, which means that I can't put them to sleep, and if they are asleep, they will be cured from it. But that means that I will get rid of abilities like Moxie. What is it called? I can get rid of Moxie. I can get rid of Thick Fats. I can get rid of Intimidates, which doesn't really help a lot. But I mean, I can get rid of. The Intimidate will of course go first. Same with the all terrain moves, terrain abilities. But Rare Seed stops from ability sweeping, and it stops from things getting torrent or blaze boosts. It stops levitates, overcoats. It can do a lot of things, which is very good. And of course, it's bulky. It's bulky. I really like this pick. I really enjoyed using it in the ABL. So I think I have 2. Yeah, I have the Metagross from ABL together with Ferrothorn from ABL, and I have the Mandibas from PSL. But next up, we have a mon that I am very surprised lasted this long. We have Magnezone. In the zone or Magnezone with Magnet Pull, as you can see here. Sturdy, analytic, Magnet Pull, very good abilities overall. But what really wanted me to grab up Magnezone is because I have a physically offensive steel type. I have a defensive steel type, and I have psychic stab and grass stab within those 2. I don't have an electric stab yet, so let's go for Magnezone, which is a specially offensive steel type with electric stab. This means that I may have 3 steel types, but they have drastically different roles on the squad, because they do so much different things. Magnet Pull prevents steel types from switching out, and as you can see, I have pretty good ones to take care of steel types on my team already. So I don't really need to worry too much about the steel types in my opponent's team, which also means that mons like my fire types, which I only have 1 of, as you can see here, will be very good and very safe, because you won't bring steel types versus my team. And TD said that, okay, I have an Earthquake weakness here. As you can see, I have a bit of an Earthquake weakness and a Rock Slid weakness, but I will cover that later on in this video. But this is a very scary mon, because you see the defense and special defense, the HP, the special attack. The speed is a bit meh, but you can do a lot of things with it, especially since I have the ability to set up both Trick Room and Tailwind with this team, which means that base 60 is a very good base speed to have in both Tailwind and Trick Room. You'll be faster than a lot of things if you take away all EVs and run negative speed nature in Trick Rooms. You will outspeed a lot of things, if not all things, with just like 100 EVs in speed with max IVs. You can do a lot of things with Magnezone to really be annoying for the opponent. I can do a lot of things. I get another Explosion Mon. I have 3 or 4 Explosion Mons right now. I can go Iron Head, another screen setter as well. Gets a good plethora of moves. Gives me another Volt Switches, so now I have a Volt Turn Core. It also gives me moves like Barrier. I can do a lot of different things with this that you might not think of at first. I can go Lock On with a very inaccurate move, which is pretty good. I can also go Mimic, Mirror Coat, Mirror Shot. Doesn't really matter too much. You can do with the accuracy of the opponent. Could be pretty good. Rain Dance to that Thunder to hit all the time. Sun, not, there was something here that I looked at earlier. Yeah, Sap Cannon. I can go, I can actually go with, where is it? Lock on Sap Cannon. Bye most things. I mean, this is a very good mon overall to have on my team. I know that it's not the best. If I run Magnet Pull, I will not survive an EQ. I know that. But if we go to doubles and we go Magnezone, I'm just gonna show you here. I go to the OU Assault Vest, put it down to 50, and let's go to something that has stab EQ. Let's go to a Garchomp, and let's go to Swords Dance Garchomp. It does a ton of damage because it's level 100. Let's go down to that. It still does a ton of damage, even if it's spread damage. So I can't really do a ton back with Magnezone on the Garchomp, of course, or any other ground type because it's stab. But I do have, if we go back, 1, 2 ways to switch into Earthquakes. I also have another one here, and I also have another one there. I have another one there. I can do a lot of things with this team that is pretty good for Magnezone to work on. Magnezone might not come to as many games, but the games it will come to will be very useful for me and very bad for the opponent. Of course, I just have to stick EQ on, but I have a lot of monsters that can set up reflects. I have a lot of monsters that can go for helping hands. I can set up the Tailwind, and if this thing is behind the Tailwind and gets it doesn't get charged. Where is it? Where's the move I'm thinking of? There, Charge Beam. If I get the Charge Beam off and get the +1, orbit up the electric terrain, and I am in Tailwind with this thing, it will hurt. I mean, it's a good one overall. I understand that it might not be the best synergize-wise, but I really like the pick, because it's a threat no matter what. Next up we have Sia is shit, the Chandelure. Yes, I hate Sia. We don't have to go into that. But as you can see, now I have a pretty big, in my opinion, fire weakness. I have the Metagross, I have the Ferrothorn, I have the Magnezone, and I want them to be able to do as much as possible, and I really want them to work well together. Now, for a lot of the teams that I will face, Magnezone and Chandelure works perfectly well. They're like the best couple I can find, because I can trap steel types, and Chandelure will destroy steel types, no problem. It also gives me a Ghost type, another very good special attacker. Can be pretty bulky as well. I'm not too familiar with bulky Chandelure, but it can certainly do things. Calm Mind is pretty can be pretty devastating. Gives me Haze, Hex as well, so I can do a lot of things. Gives me Pain Split to wear down. I can do a lot of things here that you might not think of. I can also go for Trick to destroy the opponent's IDs. If I think that there will be a Trick Room team, I can just bring like a Scarf Chandelure and just trick the Scarf on something that doesn't want to be scarfed in a Trick Room. I can go for Will-O-Wisp a lot of the time. I can also lower a lot of the stats with this thing. I can curse the opponent. I can do Fire Spin. I can do Embargo. I have so many opportunities with this. And something that I talk about a lot in the draft video, but not the draft video, in the live draft that was cut short for some reason. I have a lot of monsters that learns Flash, and it is allowed to run Flash in this league, which is pretty fun for me. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with getting flashed or flashed the other team. So yeah, this is one that works extremely well with Magnezone. Thanks to the Flash Fire, I am also immune and get a +1 boosted on my next fire move. Which means that Frodo and In the Zone and Metagross are pretty free from fire types. Which means that I Now I certainly don't have a big fire type weakness, because resistance can take more than one hit. Resistance, immunity, resistance thanks to thick fat, resistance. I really build a lot around the fire type weakness. And to go through here, I mean, we all know what Chandler does. It's a pretty good mon overall. Can do a lot of things. Be Scarfed, Specs, Calm Mind, can set up the Trick Room, can have a lot of versatility with the moves it has. So then I decided, okay, I don't have a fighting type. I want to be able to utilize my abilities to run both Trick Room teams and Tailwind teams. Which means that Hariyama is a perfect fit. It's base 50 speed. Max speed Hariyama will outspeed a lot in Tailwind and will outspeed a lot in Trick Room. It hits like a truck with base 120 attack. It's pretty bulky with base 144. AV Hariyama is extremely good. It can eat hits for all day. Sheer Force Guts and Thick Fat are extremely good abilities to have. I can put Assault Vest, Choice Band, Focus Sash if I really wanted to, because I know some moves can one-hit KO me. Leftovers, Life Orb, Lumberry. I can do so much with this thing, and it has a very good move pool as well. It gives me priority in Bullet Punch. It gives me a priority with Fake Out. It gives me priority with... where is it? I know that I have it. I don't remember the name just. Well, that was anticlimactic. I don't remember the last 30 moves it gets, but it doesn't really matter. I get the Belly Drum. I can do a lot of things. I'll just get the Whirlwind. I get all the elemental punches. I get Surf if I really wanted to. Nah, not really doing that. I get Stone Edge, which in my opinion is so much better than Rock Slide in VGC, because it hit one mon, which means that you get the full power. Rock Slide hits both mons, which use power. I can do a lot of things with this Pokemon that you might not think of. I'm also pretty sure that you get Helping Hand. And Helping Hand, if you don't know what it does, one adjacent ally's move power is 1.5 this turn. So if I am Scarfed, well, if I am Specs Magnezone, and I go for Helping Hand with Hariyama, it's plus, what is it called? It's plus priority for Helping Hand. I go for the Helping Hand. All of a sudden, I am +2 plus stab with a Thunderbolt or Flash Cannon or something like that from the Magnezone. Are you telling me that something will survive that hit? Nah. And even if I go for Salamence, Helping Hand on Salamence, dude, you're not surviving shit. Like, really. And here comes another thing for the EQ. I will talk about that later, but I get Wide Guard on this thing. Not Wish. Do I get Wish on this thing? Really? Huh, I did not know that. That's going to be pretty useful. I get the Wide Guard, which means that you can't attack me with multi-target moves this turn, which means that EQ and Rock Slide won't be as much of a problem on this team. I have some monsters that can learn it, which is pretty good, pretty useful. But yeah, Gains Over Brains to Hariyama can be very useful in the right matchup. Can put on a lot of pressure. Bullet Punch is extremely good versus all Tapus and all other fire types. Fake Out is very underrated. I'm pretty sure Mach Punch was the other move. Do I get Mach Punch? Let's see, do I get Mach Punch in this thing? I do not get Mach Punch. Okay, good. Just wanted to see there. I can also go Bulk Upset with this thing. I can do a lot of things with Hariyama, so I'm very proud of that pick. It might not be the best pick, but to being so late in the draft and to get the fighting type that hits hard like Hariyama does, it's a very good pickup in my opinion. My second to last pick is Alola Mola. That's just such an embarrassing nickname, but it is what it is. Alola Mola, with the ability both Healer, Hydration, and Regenerator. Now, in my experience from VGC, Regenerator is trash, because you don't want to switch out too much. You would rather have the Healer ability on this thing, because the Healer ability allows you to get rid of burns, toxic, paralyzing each turn on your team. That means that if I go Heal Pulse on this thing, Heal Pulse Healer, I can heal my opponent's... I can heal the opponent. I will not do that, of course, unless I misclick. But I can go for Heal Pulse on my teammates to get them up to health again, and then get of the status ailments, if they have any. I also get Wish, so I can Wish Pass with this thing. I get Wide Guard, as you can see, I get Healing Wish. I get Scald, Ice Beam, Blizzard, Aqua Jet, Cold Mind, Knockoff, Screens again. I think it's another one that you actually can utilize pretty okay in Trick Room with Waterfall, and also in what is called in Tailwind with Waterfall. So it's a good mon overall. Aqua Ring is also pretty annoying in this thing. Bounce could be pretty useful if I really wanted to. Helping Hand, it does get Helping Hand, of course. Mirror Coat is very, very good in this thing. Play Nice, Psych Up if I really wanted to do that. I don't know if I ever want to do that unless you get the... I don't think I get something like that. But I can go for a lot of things here that you might not think of. And I can trap you with some moves. I can get rid of your stab. So yeah, I really like this pick. In my opinion, it's very bulky, it's a water type, very bulky, very hard to take down, very annoying Pokemon to deal with. So yeah, last but not least, I didn't really know what to go for, but I decided that it might be good to get another Levitator, and it wasn't that many left on the board at this point, and I felt like, okay, I want another bulky Pokemon that can also do other things than just being bulky, that can be fast, that can hit hard. Specs and Scarf Rotom are great, in my opinion. Should be used more. I want to get something that can be a bit supportive with Toxic and Will-O-Wisps, and just be there and be annoying. And also to get that good Levitate ability to use. So Rotom Heat, I decided to go for Rotom Heat. Electric Fire, I feel like this is a very good mon overall for my team. It doesn't cover a lot of weaknesses, and it doesn't give me a lot of weaknesses as well. And what it does give me is it gives me Toxic, Trick Volt Switch, Will-O-Wisp, Thunder, Sucker Punch, Signal Beam, Shadow Ball, Pain Split, Overheat, Light Screen, Reflect, Hex, Foul Play, Discharge, Dark Pulse, Astonish, Charge Beam, Charge as well, Dream Eater if I want to put something to sleep, Flash. I mean, you can see that this is a pretty good type to actually have on the squad, to have a lot of this thing on the squad. And I must say that Student's Friend Rotom is just here to actually be something that you have to prep for. I don't see myself bringing it to too many games, but the games it will bring, it's very, very good. So as you can see, my team has a lot of versatile mons that I can use in a number of different ways. Then it's just up to me to actually utilize all of those ways, which I know that I'm very bad at doing. It's a very interesting team in that sense that the first half of the draft has great synergy. The second half of the draft is ways to patch up things that I thought that I lacked in. And even when I'm looking at this team now, I have Dragon Flying, Electric Steel, Dragon Flying, Psychic Steel, Dark, Poison Rock, Normal, Water Fairy, Grass, Electric, Ghost, Fire, Fighting. That's actually, do I actually have 10? Is it 15, 10? How many typings do I have? Let's just see here again. Dragon Flying, Electric, Dragon Flying, Psychic, Steel, Dark, Poison, Rock, Normal, Water, Fairy, 10. Grass, Electric, Ghost, Fire, Fighting. I got 15 typings on this team, and that means that I cover a lot of weaknesses and a lot of resistances and a lot of ways to actually hit super effective back. It's a very good balance, in my opinion, between bulky and offensive. I have good speed tiers as well to be able to run both Trick Room and Tailwind, and to be able to utilize and destroy my opponent's way to set up Trick Rooms and Tailwinds, because I can negate them pretty well. I have some mons that learn Taunt, I have good Scarfers, I have good Walls, I have good support mons, I have good setup mons as well. It's a team where you really have to prep for everything, because everything could actually come versus your team. And to just touch about, I know that TG spoke a lot about that I have a very glaring weakness to Earthquake and Rock Slide. Yes, I have. I'm not going to nose around that. Not at all. I have that. But at the same time, I have a lot of immunities to ground. I have a lot of resistances to rocks. I also have monsters that can eat up an Earthquake and a Rock Slide because in double battles because they are spread damage. Ferrothorn doesn't give a shit about Earthquakes and Rock Slides. Same with Primarina, Harijama, Alomomola. I can act if I run what is it called? If I run Air Balloon or Magnet Rise, I don't really have to care, or Telekinesis, I don't really have to care about the ground weakness. Because if I'm not completely sure, let's see, I get Telekinesis, I float around the air, I cannot get touched by Earthquakes. No problem with Earthquake there. Flying. So yeah. So there I can actually have 1, 2, 3. Yes, do you get you don't get Telekinesis, okay, so you're grounded. I have, in my first 3 picks, I have actually 3 Pokemons that are guaranteed or can be immune to Earthquakes. Next up we have, you don't really care about Earthquakes, you have Magnet Rise. If I can, you have the Magnet Rise. No problem. I don't know if you get Telekinesis. You do get Telekinesis. Another Mon that is weak to ground, that doesn't really need to be weak to ground, that can be immune for it for 3 turns. And I know that you are also a Levitate. You don't really care about EQs or so. I mean, and even if I get hit by 1 super effective move, I have ways to heal them back up with Heal Pulse, with Leftovers, with Wishes. So I can do a lot of things with this team. That means that I'm not as scared. I can work around the rock and ground weakness pretty easy, in my opinion, with this team. Because if I were to bring a team, I wouldn't bring Metagross, Magnezone, and Chandelure on the same team, unless I really had to. Same way, I wouldn't bring Nihilego on that team either. And if I did, I would have to bring Salamence and Mandibuzz 100%. And that is not a good team synergy at all. So I have a lot of opportunities to build my teams that I see fit. I also force my opponent to try to predict, will I go offensive steel type, will I go bulky steel type, will I go specially offensive, physically offensive, will I have a fire type that can support them, will I have a levitator that can support them. I mean, and what levitator will that be? What flying type will that be? Because ice types doesn't do a ton to Mandibuzz. And ice types does absolutely nothing to Rotom. So I mean, I have a lot of ways to get rid of the Earthquake weakness and to get rid of the Rock Slide weakness. The Stealth Rock weakness I have 100%. I cannot get rid of that. But Stealth Rocks are not that common in this thing, and I have good defoggers on my team. So with that said, first battle should be up on next Monday. Well, the first battle, of course, this is VGC, so the battles will be best out of 3. You will bring 6 months and then choose 4 of those to go into the battle. So I know that the deadline is on Saturday, this Saturday. I also know that I might not. I think we will battle before Friday or Saturday, and then the battle will go up on Monday, and I will try to make it live. The problem here is I need to get through a lot of replays for this if I don't do it live. But I live at home and I don't have the best opportunity to do them live. So even if I want to, I can't really do that. So I think this is all I really have to say. Is there anything else that I really want to touch on here? Well, I feel like we have an official doc that you can look up. I will link that as well. I am ranked in 5th place by Levity and TJ, and I think Cyan ranked me at 1st place in his. in his draft recap, in his post-draft ranking, power rankings. And I can say that I will not be the #1 seed in this league. I'm not that good at VGC. I have some experience with it. I managed to go to 15 or 1600 in early VGC 17 meta. So I have some experience with this, but that's the only VGC I have played. And a lot of these months I have never used before. The only monster that I have used actively are Metagross, Frodo, and Mandibuzz. The rest of this team is completely new monsters to me, which means that it will take some time for me to adjust to the new squad. I also know that doubles is a completely different way to battle than, well, compared to the singles meta. Some moves are better here, some moves are worse here. You have a completely different way to build your squad because you're calculating everything from level 50 instead of level 100 as you do on Showdown normally. And yeah, it's a lot of different ways to go around this thing. But I am pretty sure that I will go to my goal here is to go to playoffs and be the top 4 teams here. I should be able to do that not pretty easy, but I should be able to do that. That's my goal at least. I will go to playoffs here because I need to prove myself after the kind of disastrous ABL season, in my opinion. Even if I'm pretty proud with my record, I did play as shit most of the time. So I need to go up here and play better. And I need to show, mostly for myself, that I am a better battler than I have played lately. There are also some teams in here that I really want to beat. So yeah, and I will, as I said, the battle should be up on Monday for this week. Week 1 Week 1 is this week. We will battle pretty soon, me and Arctic, I think it is, I'm facing. And his team is, God, his team's so scary. But I should be able to build around that team, in my opinion, with this squad. Is there anything else that I really need to touch on here? No, I don't. As I said, I had ways to deal with ground weakness and rock weakness, because the only rock weakness I have here is Salamence, Mandibuzz, and Mandibuzz can take a hit pretty easy. Rotom and Chandelure. That's 4 months. And how many rock resistances do I have? Metagross. I have Metagross, I have, of course, Frodo and Ferrothorn and Magnezone. I know that Harajama can take a hit. I know that a lot of both my water types can take a hit, and I know that Nihilego can take a rock hit, no problem. So I'm not that scared of that, and I have ways to deal with rock types and ground types as well on this squad. So without further ado, this is my team. And I am very happy to bring this season a bit closer, to be able to win once more. So yeah, I will see you next time.